On va le faire. Bon, now everybody else, in general, we're going to speak English. Sophie, we're going to try to accommodate. Of course, Lisa speaks 3 languages as I do, so we're fine there. So what we'd like to do is, as soon as everybody has settled and is ready to go, and we may all want to close off our videos if we get bad reception, I'm going to hand over to Lisa because she's going to do a demo of her TimeWaver and her HorseWaver, which none of us knew until last week even existed. So can I just hand over to you, Lisa, and give you as much time as you need to say what you need to say?
So thank you, vielen Dank, thank you, et merci beaucoup à Christine. I'm so happy to be there to present you my most beloved thing, help animals, help people, and work with information and frequency medicine. And last week we have had a meeting too, and we began to ask some questions, to pose and ask some questions, and to introduce the idea of helping animals. And I prepared something for you. This was my promise to you, to give you all the addresses and the links and the details where you can find animal service for information and frequency medicine. I'm a practitioner in Germany, Heilpraktikerin in Germany for many years. And since 13 years, I'm occupied with information and frequency medicine. And I'm a TimeWaver therapist and specialist, an international specialist, as you like, in 3 languages. And my heart is open to much more languages. Okay, and here in the chat, I will type you in how you can get the link. This is before I forget this, and you will find me here.
Now, don't worry if you don't get the link straight away from the chat. I will include this link in my next email, so everybody will have access to it. And this is a free, it's a little ebook that Lisa has written for us, and she's done it up specially for us. So it's quite beautiful, and we're very grateful, Lisa.
Yes, it was the idea last Monday, so I prepared. So I said, you don't have to copy all. I will make you a document to have all the information that I have prepared for animals in one document. And afterwards, I thought it's not only to give the links where you can buy this or that. It's to give some more. So I decided to create a little freebie PDF for information. There's 1 week of frequency, how to start with a new person or a new animal, and some surprises and much more, and some pictures too. I hope you like it. Christine, you saw it yet? Yes?
Yes,
and
I did.
I hope you like it.
Beautiful. We're so thrilled that you're looking after us this way. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome, and it's my pleasure to spread information, medicine over the world and give support and knowledge, because this is the only thing that we can do to become self-responsible and to be occupied ourselves with our health and the health of our animals, and don't give the responsibility to other persons and go beside. I think it's up to you to take the responsibility to act. Yes, and I will show you how to act and how to take this responsibility and begin to heal yourself and heal your animals too. And I have had animals all my life, cats and horses, dogs and goose and chicken and whatever kind of animals. And me especially, I love most horses and cats. Yes, I'm a horse and cat woman, and you can see it in my pictures. I've shared you in the little document some private photos from my youth where you can see me with horses and dogs and cats, and with my own animals from my childhood time and young adult time. Yes. So I have had 14 horses of my own in the past, where I lived on a farm with my ex-husband, and I was occupied for the health of the horses too. We drove a wagon with the Frisian horses, and I drove wagons too. So we always looked after the animals, that they become more and more healthy. And if I started with the TimeWaver and the information and frequency medicine, I was aware that the vet visited much less our farm than even before. All the natural horsekeeping and being much time outside, using information and frequency medicine, coming back to natural health. This helped the animals so significant that I stayed on this. I stayed on and be more and more occupied with therapy concepts, with the using of frequency medicine. And I want to show you today a little bit about my TimeWaver work. TimeWaver was conceived as first 13 years before for humans with the organ coherency. Imagine that the organs play together like an orchestra or a choir. Yes, everyone has his voice and his instrument, but all together will create a wonderful sound of harmony and joy. And this shall our body and the body of every human and animal, especially horses, of course, too. So we can, in the organ coherency, we can discover that there be the animals are in the mode of, in the same mode as we, that they need a harmony between the organs to sing a great song on the harmonic melody of life. And we can see that some organs are in the middle. This is the corridor of regulation. I will show you this afterwards. And some organs maybe not be in the middle of the corridor of regulation. And then we can see what is related to the emotion of animals. And if we ask the meridian system, we can see the emotion connection very strong. So I say, give your animal a voice by using the meridians and the horse waver, that we can see what's the matter with the underlying sources and the underlying causes of diseases or disbalances. So now, if you have some questions before, I think you can post them now. If you question about TimeWaver, or about me, myself, or my animal work, and then afterwards we will change the screen to the TimeWaver. Is this okay, Christine?
I think so. I think it would be very interesting. Can I just say that it was so, Lisa and I had a conversation yesterday online, and she already gave me a private demo. And really, the fascinating thing is to look at the TimeWaver and the horse waver. So I think we'll keep the questions down to not too many questions, and then have the demonstration. I think the demonstration is going to be very interesting for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
So
maybe there are some questions. Yes. Yeah. We will answer some questions before. In my workshops, I do every now and then a break to post some questions, because in the end, maybe we have lost the content. So if there are any questions, please post them now.
Good. Questions?
Okay, no questions.
I have a question. How long
Yes.
did it take you to learn to use that TimeWaver? I understand. I have a friend who's learning to use one, and he says it's a 3-year course just to learn to use the TimeWaver. Is that right? Did it take that long to learn it?
I'm doing a course with the TimeWaver, with the core training, and this is 5 months. Let you know how to think, to use the TimeWaver, even if you don't have a TimeWaver. Yes, it's not important that you own a TimeWaver yet to use to participate the core training. The core training will start in September. We will have a mini workshop about TimeWaver, what TimeWaver is able to do, and how we can support optimal our loved ones with the TimeWaver. And then I start 5 months of training. And it is possible to learn it even earlier if you are occupied with it. And after the core training, I offer the supervision. That means we are starting with real clients. They are content to be the client of the group, yes. And in the therapist group, we will support the real client, and I will show up how I would work with the client and which questions would I pose and which programs and details in the TimeWaver would I use, and which frequencies would I use, and which parts of the mosaic medicine, which mosaic stones I would use for this client. And this is called supervision. And it will start the 13th of August. If anyone is interested in the supervision, you can anytime write me an email. In the document that we have posted, you will find any details to contact me if there are any questions that go further than this meeting. Okay? So we can learn TimeWaver earlier, but I think too, I have 13 years now, the TimeWaver, but if there is any opportunity to have a look over the shoulder from any TimeWaver practitioner, I would look every time over there and participate, how this practitioner would work with the TimeWaver. You never end learning. And me too, I never end learning. I love so much to learn, and I give the knowledge in the 3 languages all over the world to therapists and users. 3 years, it's okay, but I don't know who is offering this.
Nor do I,
Christine?
Lisa. Nor do I, Lisa. I haven't asked who he's learning from, so I'll find out now, because now I'm better informed. Thank you. Yes. So if you anytime think about to learn about the TimeWaver, I offer courses and I offer private sessions and opportunities. Please write me at anything. I will answer it in an email. But now we want to start to show the TimeWaver and the Horsewaver. If there are no more questions for the moment. Christine, is this okay? That sounds fine. Helen has joined us.
Sorry, I was a bit late.
No, that's fine. But you had a lot of questions, Helen. So
yeah, I had them written down last week. But like on a microcellular level with the frequencies, would you use frequencies or microcurrent? And with the horse, are you actually using a surrogate to treat the horse, like through the practitioner?
So this is a good question. Microcurrent are frequencies. The current and the microcurrent is doing these waves, and these waves, any wave is a frequency. And any information is a frequency. Any word is a frequency, yes? Any affirmation is a frequency. So I try to use multi-layer, multi-dimensional tools to help the loved beings that come to my practice or that I'm helping remotely. I use the TimeWaver as an information source and information analyze tool and vibrating tool. And the vibrating, the vibes are information vibes. And with the information vibes, we can test too which kind of frequency the person needs, yes, or the animal needs. And of course, I use the Healy and other frequency devices and magnetic converters. I am used to take several layers and several dimensions and even supplements, nutrition, informing of water. We can do such an amount of different things and different layers of help. And I will show you now the TimeWaver. It is dealing with information, yes, and the Healy is dealing with information and microcurrent frequency. Okay, but too with an electromagnetical cloud, yes, electromagnetical field, but it's not a field like the wheels that our horses are on. This field is 3-dimensional and more dimensional, not only 3-dimensional, and it's like a cloud. Yes, we can imagine. So I'm speaking about the electromagnetical cloud. The Healy has 3 sources to do its work, and I have described this in the little PDF information book that I want to offer you. Okay?
Right.
Is this question answered?
Yes, but not about the surrogate. If I'm using the Healy device, say for my horse or my dog.
Yes.
So I'm actually, do I place my hand on their being to be the surrogate for the information from them to come into the device?
Yes.
I can answer that question, Helen. Let's do that offline.
Okay.
Because I can tell you exactly how to do that.
All right. So there's no way we can influence that.
Oh yes,
right.
Of course you influence it.
Yes, of course we can do it.
Was if we don't do it in the right way, it could be the wrong information because.
And Marcella and I have figured out some ways of doing it.
We can talk about that. Yeah, we'll
Good.
ask.
But great question. Thank you, Helen. Helen is a trained in Germany equine osteopath.
Wow, this is great.
Yeah, there are 2 in Australia, qualified equine osteopaths. We have
this is very good.
And I'm also a master of human osteopathic medicine as well.
Absolutely.
Great, congratulations.
Thank you very much. But yeah, I'm very interested in this device. But also too, because of the frequencies, I've had personal experience like 20 years ago with an old, like the Bicom machine. With the
Bicom, yes.
Yeah, I had amazing results. So I have total faith in this, and I have been using Christine, a borrowed one, which I've got to give back.
Yes.
But it's sort of like certain conditions, maybe you have a new program now, like, because I'm very concerned with my horse about their and myself too, nutrient absorption, like malabsorption from many type, underlying pathologies in all sorts of areas. What sort of frequencies would you start off with, just targeting one area, or try and get the frequencies so that on a cellular level they're getting the right proteins and the right way of catalyzing the products to create the right nutrients?
I would every time start with a holistic view, because we are not only a liver, we are not only a kidney, or not only an intestinum. We are a holistic being, and horses too, of course. And as a holistic being, we should look after the holistic view. And this I do with the TimeWaver. I'm not focused only about the intestinum and which frequency. This would mean to limitate ourselves, but we can make a test which kind of frequency does the horse need, or does the person need.
Yes, because organs might need a different frequency.
What, please? Excuse me.
some of the different organs may need a different frequency to like work
Yes, of course.
synergistically.
But I think we are limited with our knowledge, and even if we knew more and more, we are yet limited in terms of frequencies and the universe. We have only a small knowledge, and if we limit ourselves to choose these frequencies, maybe there are other frequencies the animal need, and then we can make a test. And this is because the Healy is so great, because it's a resonance device. This is analyzing every time which frequency do we need at the moment. And this is the wonderful speciality of Healy, that he's not pre-choosing any kind of frequency that we think that this being needs. Because it is choosing from a pool of frequencies which one is the right at the very moment. And this is why the Healy is so special.
It's amazing.
Yes, it is. And now I think we shall change. We has changed to the other screen. Okay, so I will close mine here and be on the other side in this symbol of mosaic medicine. I will be there in a very little moment. So I hope this okay. So this is the TimeWaver surface, and you see here in the surface you have lots of levels. It's the system level, yes, the spiritual, the karmic, systemical level, the psychological level, informational level, the level of energy, frequency, the physiological level. Detoxification is important, and the microbes too, healing remedies, and such more specialties. And in the user layer, you see my name here, and I have created and collected many frequencies and many databases to be in touch with the information, and the information we can create ourselves to support. And with this, you see here, it's more than 500,000 of database entries, and here is nearly 250,000 of database entries, which I have collected over the last 13 years. And I'm writing own databases and own frequency systems to support more targeted. And now I will show you with the clients. In the client, this is Gitana, my horse, and in the TimeWaver, all female animals are symbolized with a cat, even if it is a horse. Pferd means horse in Germany, yes, and if it is a stallion, it would be a dog, yes. It's like this from the program. So let's go to Gitana, and here we have the organ currency and the horse waver, which is nearly the same. And this was an old analyze, and in the history I can show you where are you, history, the results, okay. At the first analyze I did, I have written a little story about Gitana as she came to us, and you can see this link in the booklet too. And if you see here the first analyze, she was lots of under-regulated. This green one is the corridor of regulation. That means from the percentage between minus 35 to plus 35, the organs are balanced, and this is the green corridor of regulation. And the under-regulated, they are characteristic. Their characteristics are that they need help, they need support, they need some power. And the overregulated would need some reset, calm down, work not so hard, okay? And as we see, as Ritana came to us, there were not so many organs in the balanced way, and we have lots of underregulated. And now let's see, in between there are several different analyze I made, and let's do a new analyze that you see what we can do. And in the standard analyze, you see at the picture of the horse that the cells and all the details of the horse, of the body of the horse, will be scanned and seen if it is over or underregulated or in the corridor of regulation. And you see today it's only the duodenum rests, and the other ones are going, they went back to the corridor of regulation. And now you can see how the organs are related to the emotion. Then we see in the duodenum, it's the decomposition and analyze of foreign matter and symbolizes critical faculties and self-criticism, yes. And she has had a history that she came from Spain to Germany last year, I think, was it last year? 2019 or 20. She came to Germany to a woman who mistreated her, I think not by bad will, but by not knowledge and incompetence. And she has had many colleagues. And the problem was that she has a feeling of lost, yes? Afterwards, we will see what the feeling are. And if we see here, we can see what's the stomach. The stomach means the ability to accept things, basic trust and inner security. At the beginning, the stomach was not good. And we see here, we have here the muscles were not okay, and the central nervous thing is okay. You see in the square that the consciousness, will and feeling, the memory, the thinking, mind, vision, transformation and thoughts onto the body. That means too that their system fails. And here the adrenal glands is the regulation of stress, the water balance, and of course sexuality. And we know that she has had lots of stress in her life, and she came to us because I want to support her, that she had not to be longer with these people, and she can calm down now, yes? And now we can see here in the duodenum what are the causes of the underregulation of the duodenum. And here we see several categories, yes? We can see here too, there are some parasites, yes? We have to be occupied with the parasites, and the disorders caused by psychological causes. Isn't it interesting that the TimeWaver can see that she has had unbearable stress and conflicts and the separation conflicts. We can see the red ones are the acute ones, and the blue ones, we are talking about the chronic situation, yes? The original question was, why is the duodenum yet underregulated with 42%? And we see the active points are some conflicts, yes? And we see here some toxins too, toxins and non-infectious inflammations, and of course chronic parasites, yes? She has to, of course she has some worms. She have had the cure against worms, and I prepared for her, not only for her, I prepared a bye-bye parasite program for the TimeWaver, not for the TimeWaver, for the Healy, to do it in the time of full moon. and it was much worse at the beginning. And we can see here now, if we see what can we do for the conflict, how can we support her? And we can see here in the selection, moment please, that here are many balancing aids. Yes, black cumin oil, maybe colostrum or echinacea, and we can add it to a list here. Yes, one moment, I have to put the thing a little bit by side.
I have a quick question if you have time for a question.
Yes,
Lisa.
of course.
So if I understand this rightly, the red on the left-hand column, the red
yes,
indicators are overstimulated, and the rest
No. This one, in this list, we read them like this.
Yes.
The red one are the acute ones, and the blue ones are the chronic ones.
I see.
Yes, it's another reading here. Yes, than we had before. You say here in the, I cannot move this window, but you see here in the organ coherency of the horse wafer, the red ones here are the underregulated that need some power and some help, some support, and the blue ones on the right side, they are the overregulated ones. That means they have to calm down, they have to relax and to give away the stress and calm down. Yes, work not so hard. And in this way, we don't speak from under or overregulated. We see this one, the red entries are the acute ones, and the blue ones are more the chronic ones. Okay.
Yes, thank you. That's very interesting. And can you just also say you picked minus 35 to plus 35 as the normal corridor for the balanced ones that are in the green on the other screen?
Yes.
Was the minus 35 to plus 35, how is that something of significance, or is it just a number that they've sort of established for the TimeWaver?
I think it's sort of the golden ratio in the terms of frequency and information. We are talking about very often about the golden ratio. That means 63% and more are relevant for us. These are the important frequencies or entries that we are resonating with. Yes, and the others, because this is the most. They are the most ones. They can be treated and they can be used as the important ones to use. And in this case, we have several reading cases. It's not everything the same. We don't use every time the golden ratio. Yes, but in the corridor of regulation, this is 35 plus and 35 minus. Think about this, the heart rate of a human, maybe 60 to 70 beats per minute. And if we are sleeping, or with some people, this is sometimes 50 or 55, but it's okay too. And if we go the staircase, or if we're doing some sports, maybe occupied with the horses, then it will come up to maybe 100 pulse, the pulse of 100 beats per minute. It's okay too. But if we have a heart problem, it goes up to 240. This is very, very dangerous. And if it falls down under 30 beats per minute, it's dangerous too. So we have a corridor of regulation where the heartbeat is normal, and it's depending on our on the surroundings, on the situation, and what the heart has to do in the situation. And there are over and under regulated or over and under dosed pulse situations that are not healthy for the being. Okay, and this is like this in an information field. We can take this as an example to see the corridor of regulation, because every organ has regulation system for itself. In the heartbeat, it is very plastical to see, to hear, to imagine. But the other organs, of course, has a regulation corridor. And this is shown by the green corridor in the middle. Yes, and the other ones are in the information field over or under-regulated. We are not doing a corporal palpation or investigation in a corporal way. We don't do a blood test. We don't do a muscle test, or we don't do a test of DNA or the substances of the bones or whatever. We are asking here the information field of the organs. That means that we are asking the soul and the mind of our corporal materialistic body. Okay? But because we are body, mind, and soul, and all is linked together, we can ask the soul of the organs how they feel, and they will answer directly. And how they feel has a direct influence of the materialistic body that we are that we can touch and feel and do a palpation and whatever. Okay.
Lisa, can I ask one more question? When
Yes,
you say that the horse needs echinacea or Cantharis compositum or something like that, you're going to beam that at the horse with your resonance machine. You're not going to necessarily give the homeopathic substance or the herbal substance to the horse, or will you do both?
I will every time do both in a special manner that I want to show you. This is what we are doing here is like homeopathy, yes? If we are using homeopathy, we are not working with the substance, but with the information of the plants. And here we are working with the information of the remedies that are shown up here. And if I see the proposed remedies or balancing aids if we are looking at the balancing aids here that we can add to a list, yes, and I will see to detoxify, what can we do? Knoblettes means Knoblauch, means garlic. It's garlic. Mm-hmm. And here we see several things that I don't know any time. The Equisel, I don't know. But there are some things I knew and some things not. But here they are all scanned and put in the horse Weber that the information of this remedy can work like homeopathy. Yes. And now I want to apply it and I will create a list. Yes. And I say yes. And the question is how we can support the under-regulation of the duodenum of Chitana. Yes. These are the causes. These are the proposed remedies, and now I want to create a list. And with the list is doing, what is the list I want? Oh, I think I pressed the wrong button. I will do it again.
That never happens to any of the rest of us, Lisa. We never press the wrong button.
Yes. Okay.
I'm the first one to press wrong buttons.
I did clear list and not clear create optimization list because I'm looking at the program. Sometimes I'm thinking in German and speaking in English. And it can be that I press the wrong button. So, okay. If we see now the list here, yes, we can see what we need. We see here the relevance and the percentage. Yesterday we did it too, and I shown up she is much better now. So you see the other, if we see the relevance here, okay, here we have the relevance of 63 and 62. The two ones are relevant for the horse, and the other ones are not so relevant because the percentage is much lower. Yes, so we see the Knoblettes It means here with garlic. So 63% garlic combination is okay, and a D2 is in the here and now. That means the entries with a high resonance above 62, 63 and more, and with a small number of here of the D, means that I can give corporal too. So I will go to buy some garlic and prepare the garlic for Gitana to give it on a corporal way, and at the same time we will do the horse wafer and give it for her in an informational way. Yes, and we see here 62 with the D1. The selenium is optimized. Okay, she needs some selenium too, in a D, in a small number, in the here and now too. So selenium and garlic are the ones that I will give her directly with the stuff, with the original matter and the remedy, and all the other things that are here. I will create a list now and say every 8 hours for a minute. Yes. And this for a month. You see here for a month, you can say a month.
Oh, so you can program your TimeWaver, your horse waver,
yes,
from a month ahead, whereas we
yes,
have to do our Heelys every single time.
Yes, I can
Right.
program this. So every 8 hours for 1 minute, it will be sent. Yes, for a complete month. And afterwards, this list will have changed because she has taken the information to absorb better the things, and the information can cure too. Yes, so we save it, and then what we can do, we can look in the lists. Yes, and if I want to say, okay, I want to vibrate it manual, I can go here to vibrate and say, do it on a client, yes, or do it on a carrier object. Maybe I want to do it on the was heißt Halfter, Christine? Das Halfter, was die Pferde am Kopf haben.
Halter.
Christine?
Halter.
The halter, yes. I can do it on the halter. Or I can do it on any metal thing, or on water. I can do it on water and inform a little bit, a half gallon of water, and I put this gallon in the great tub where the horses are drinking from, and the small amount of water, what I am informing, that will inform the rest of the water immediately. Yes. So if I say
you put a small amount into the water trough, no matter how big the water trough is, right?
Yes, the whole water trough is informed afterwards. So I can choose the carrier object, then I put it here. Yes, the stuff of the halter or the bottle of water, and I let it run. Yes, I let it run like this. I only want to show a little bit. I have nothing instead of, yes, but if there was something on the TimeWaver, this is the TimeWaver here. Yes, the symbol of the TimeWaver, how it looks like. No, it's like this. Or I want to do it on the client. So, and I can, of course, vibrate Gitana remotely, and she will get the list now. For a moment, I only want to show you how it works. Yes, and this is very interesting that we have this list now. Yes, apply, and we had it seen. And there is another thing, and with the meridians, I want to show you something first about the aura photography. About the aura,
Lisa, because you've shown us the top of your TimeWaver machine, can you at some point just show us what the TimeWaver machine looks like? Because it's a lot sleeker and smaller than the old bioresonance machines. And I think people would be interested to see what that looks like. But I'm not sure how it fits into your presentation.
I will show it to you when we have changed from the TimeWaver again to the other laptop. I will show to you how the TimeWaver looks like. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes. At first, we will see what's here. I will record the aura system too, and we see it has changed. He's not so good in the energy today, and the crown chakra and the forehead chakra, they are under-regulated. So I think we should balance the 3 chakra here, 49, 48, and 50, forehead, crown, and this. And then we can analyze the 3 chakras to give her a little bit more power. I knew why she doesn't have so much power today, because a few days ago her paddock mate went in another stable and she is lost again. And her problem is that she is every time lost. She feels lost in the coming to Germany and being not more in the herd in Spain. And it changed the stable, and she was at the clinic very often. So her problem is about feeling lost.
So she feels abandonment.
Yes.
And yesterday, I thought you did a beautiful job of calling her a refugee feeling. So she had the feeling of being a refugee in somebody else's country, far away from her own kin and her own family and her own friends.
Yes.
And what she was familiar to her. It's just so human, isn't it? I mean, horses are people too.
Yes, of course. It's so understandable. Yes, sometimes we feel lost too. If we are in a camp or in a school, with the school, we are going with our classmates to another place for 10 days. But sometimes we feel lost there because it's not that we are used to. Yes, it's a kind of homesickness. Yes. Right. And now I want to show you the meridians, but you know yet the meridians, but the aura photography, and now the meridians, because the meridians are so interesting. The meridians, of course, they have yet the picture of humans. But if we forget this, because the information field knows where the meridians are and where the acupuncture points are. It's not up to, we don't have to know it, because the universe is very intelligent and is aware of the situation. You see here, this is the corridor of regulation in another way. The blue, it's like the gut system here, but it is not. It is the corridor of regulation for the organs, for the meridian systems. And we can see here 2 ones. They are, one's over-regulated and one is under-regulated. We have the stomach here, and we can see it's the pH regulation and the content, creativity, the ethical conscience. And here we have under-regulated the spleen. It's the autonomic nervous system, the carbohydrate metabolism, the blood mixture, and the storage and processing of information. The 2 ones are out of the regulation corridor, over-regulated and under-regulated. And if we take them, the 2 meridians, we can do it immediately, and we start it. And even if there's a person and not a horse, I use the bridge of my consciousness and imagine how the TimeWaver is tapping one acupuncture point after the other at the body of Gitana. Yes, it's not what the machine is doing. The important thing is what we are doing with our consciousness. Yes, so if we use the bridge of our consciousness to send an arrow of intention to the goal that we want to, or what we want to achieve, then this is the bridge where our consciousness and the universe meet and work together. Okay? So these are the most important ones. You see, I use this because they are over 63%, so I can take them and take a little more entries here. And then we will show the optimization list. And this is very important here. Every 3 days for 5 minutes. This says to me, this is a chronic state, the chronic state of feeling abandoned. We tested it yesterday with Christine in the other session to demonstrate homelessness, homesickness, yes, and being abandoned. This is not very easy for her to cope this because she's 11 now, and she was 9 to 10 years in Spain and now changed her living place. Yes, I want to save this. And then we go back to the list. So let us see what the most important entries say. So here is 1, and here is 1. These are the little numbers. I'm looking after the little numbers here. They are in the here and now. And this is about confidence. Help to make decisions on a level of certainty and trust, and to understand that everything happens for a certain reason. That decisions are never false, but rather only ever influence the length and the structure of the way. This is an important thing that Gitana has to learn. With the power of 10 on the level C, that means the soul system, yes. D is the corporal section, and LM, we will see it afterwards, is the mental section. And here in her soul, she has to learn in the here and now, with the power of 10, the importance of confidence, yes. And here in another, with the 8, with the D4, it's in a corporal way, single, aids in self-centering and healthy self-esteem, enables recognition of the high point and the healthy borders of one's own powers of creation, and thus aids in balanced, stress-free work performance. As we saw before, with their adrenal glands causing stress, and we see here in the meridian system that the self-esteem is caused by stress, yes, the lack of self-esteem, and she has to learn this too, okay? And here it's another thing with a D3, the onyx green. This is a stone. This is a gemstone. Strengthens assertiveness, self-esteem, and sense of responsibility. Improves rational thinking, logic control, and the power to argue. Isn't this fine? We knew that she has a refugee syndrome, yes, and he is lacking self-esteem, and here again self-esteem, and the first one, certainty and trust and confidence, and all the others are important too, but the D1E12 means exponent. This means it's a parent problem, yes? And if we go further here, the LM is a mental thing, yes? The mental thing, and the other entries with the higher numbers are this is meant that is not needed in the here and now. And the smaller numbers, like this one and this one, with the smaller numbers, they are needed in the here and now. So I let it vibrate for her too, to give the power of self-esteem. Yes?
Can I just ask a quick question? When you say in the here and now, you mean in her physical capacity. So
in our normal daily life, I mean, right. The here and now in our normal daily life, she needs some self-esteem. She needs some confidence, and she needs to be stable in the here and now in the nowadays life.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, isn't all this interesting? So I want to give her the meridian system, even if I will send every 3 days for 5 minutes. Now I want to vibrate for it 26 minutes, like this. Yes, once, and after it can go again. And if it is ready, it shall vibrate all the other patients that are inside. Okay? So now we will stop the TimeWaver and go back to our to our meeting. So here I am, and I think there are some upcoming questions that I can answer you. Christine, do you have one or other questions coming up?
I haven't anything on the chat, but I'm sure there will be some questions.
Yes, I knew that this is a little bit fast. I don't
Very
want
fast.
you to do a TimeWaver session, only give an idea what we can do with the TimeWaver. It would take too long time if we want to read all and decide any little thing. Yes, so it's important for the moment that you see the abilities of the TimeWaver. There is much more we cannot share at the very moment, but I'm there to give TimeWaver sessions for humans and horses and animals if anybody wants to. Any questions, please?
Yeah, but I think that's a very interesting, what I'm going to do this week. I have a horse with a small injury, and I'm going to sign up for a month of program with that horse, with Lisa. And maybe you could explain how that works, Lisa, because I think it's a really good idea. It's not just the 1 hour with Lisa to talk things over and find out what frequencies to use, but Lisa will dive deeper into the horse's personality, into my feelings towards the horse. I'll send a video. It'll be a month-long process, and then she will send the vibrations to the horse. Have I got it about right, Lisa?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. If we do a session with the horse, normally it's not to have 1 hour and one idea.
Yeah.
If we want to dive deep, we have to do several analyses and we have to answer several questions. And it's I call it an interactive anamnesis. That means that I'm asking you the question, what's about the horse? What if there was a surgery or an injury or the history of the horse? Yes, if there was anything has changed in the herd or changed in the nutrition, and then we will go on and figure out what the TimeWaver is answering of the information field. That means we can see if I can figure out something, we can talk directly about it and verify it or discover other topics. They are important. Yes, so we can figure out what's the core for this injury or the core for this behavior. And it's not only working for personal things. Let me give one moment to my dad. I'm back in very.
So this is a good time to gather your thoughts and formulate a question or two for Lisa. What I didn't get to say was that she charges 150 euros for an hour session, but I think she's very generous with her time, and what she charges for the month-long and with 3 sessions, that'd be 3 sessions with me, and then she's sending the program to the horse, is 350 euros. But as I say, I think what I've seen from her right now is she's quite generous with her time. So she doesn't.
Excuse me, my dad needed some help.
No problem.
I'm caregiver for my 89-year-old dad. Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
And sometimes you need a little support.
Fair enough.
So excuse me, because I didn't heard the last questions because I was occupied over there.
Don't worry, we haven't got that far. I was just explaining a little more about the way that you do your month session, because that seems your month's worth of 3 sessions, because that seems very useful. And I think just having an hour with you would also be very useful. But that's all we talked about. So let's open the floor to questions.
Before the questions I want to open up the idea of an open consultation office. This is a Zoom meeting like this on the 1st of September. At the same time or a little bit earlier. You will find it in the booklet that if you don't need several months or a month or a deep dive into something, you have some quick questions, we can answer it in the open office, open consultation hour for animals. Yes, especially for Australia, special horse group. We will start on the 1st of September.
And you charge to be a member for your portal. So you have a subscription payment system. And once you're a member of the portal, you can join the horse hour consultation with whoever else turns up and ask your questions at that time. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
yes.
The fee for the portal also includes a lot of content that you have in your back that you don't show
the portal, I have closed the portal because I think people were not people were no more longer no, it was not the time for the portal because people didn't understand what the portal is, and it was better to close the portal and open up more specialized things.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
We have had the portal, but we had not so many members. I think it was not yet understood by most of the people what I'm offering, but it was maybe too cheap, or I don't know why. Now we have the open consultation hour, and we have sometimes a workshop, and we have lots of workshops recorded with lots of information behind. And yes, but let's start the questions.
Good.
When you take the horse's history online, Lisa, do you still have to sort of have some form of contact with the horse, or just the information that we give you to do the analysis?
I would like to see the horse with several pictures. I asked Christine, for example, to give me a video from the young horse we are talking about, and a photo too from the leg, which is has had the injury. What we can do, that I can see it, and if it's possible, if the horse is reachable for me, I will go there and ask the horse personally. But what shall we do if you are in Australia and I'm in Germany? It's nearly not possible. But about you tell me the history of the horse, and with the video I can see how the horse is moving, and I can get some vibrations. I'm a very sensitive person, and I can feel sometimes what the horse is saying to me. And two, we will ask the TimeWaver what the TimeWaver will figure out, what's the underlying causes and the details. Yes, I would like to see the horse in person, but it's not every time possible because I'm supporting animals and people all over the world.
And Lisa, can you treat multiple, I mean, if your TimeWaver or your horse waver is treating a horse, can it be treating multiple horses at the same time?
Yes, of course.
Oh.
Yes, of course. My TimeWaver is filled up with maybe 100, 200 clients, and they are treated now. This is 26 minutes vibrating for Gitana, and afterwards it is vibrating every person, one and horse one after the other, and the TimeWaver is working 24/7. And if you have a session with me, the TimeWaver works all the time round the clock. It's every time online. Yes, not online with the internet, because we don't need the internet, but the information field. We need only the current from the house. Yes, and the TimeWaver is working with the information fields, and it's working all day and night long round the clock.
So you just
it's always with me. Even if I'm doing a voyage, I take my TimeWaver with me, that I'm always connected to my clients, to the horses, and to anyone who is in. And I think there's another kind to answer the question. If I have a group of horses, maybe my stable, I have 13 or 30 horses or much more, I can make a group of horses. This is my stable and the group of horses that they are living in. And then I can vibrate this group, that the water will all be fresh and they have a good nutrition, that there is no parasites, the parasite, the amount of parasite will go down, that they are in peace and harmony, that they have a good comportment to each other, that health will increase. All these details that will cover a group. Yes, the balancing of the group will support the whole group and the holistic group. And if we have a single horse, maybe with an injury, like Christine has one, then we can do a second time, use the individual consultation and the individuality, and put the horse in as a client, even if it is in the other group. And both works at the same time. So we can have, if we say we will have a group balancement for the horses to increase health and water and food and decrease microbes or mold or whatever. Yes, we can do it for the whole stable.
Wow. Wow. And then that also increases harmony amongst the horses.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How about that? I do have a question in the chat. May I ask that for someone in the chat? And that's
yes, of course. Mm-hmm.
Do you treat dogs with the same program as horses?
Dogs I treat with the human program, but it's nearly the same, only because horses has a little bit other digestion system as humans, and they have other the equine remedies that are in. Yes, this is special for horses, and I love this horse wafer program. I don't know what I should do without the horse wafer program.
Right.
Yes, but the dogs I treat with the men, with the people organ coherency. Mm-hmm. And this works well too, and cats too. Yes, cats too, and birds too. Yes, I have had birds, and I have had a turtle. Years ago, I have had a turtle in Tunisia, and I put the turtle in the TimeWaver because it was not eating so good. Yes, and this was too a kind of abandonness of this turtle. She was abandoned. She felt abandoned. It was not my turtle. It came up and it doesn't eat, and so I asked the TimeWaver what to do with the human organ coherency and the meridians, and I discovered this and treated her, and she became better.
How about that?
Yes, why not? And a bird too. We had a seagull over there with a broken wing, and we treated her with a magnetic converter. It was a time we didn't have the Healy yet. It was long before. I treated the bird with a TimeWaver and with a magnetic converter. And after a while, she was better. She began to drink. Then we bought some fishes on the market because I don't know how to fish, but we bought some fishes on the market and gave her the fishes. It was very interesting in the fishes. And after a while, after 3 or 4 days, she began to walk in the garden, and afterwards she went away. She flew away. She was better. It works. Wow. Mm-hmm. I think I have some photos of the seagull. One day, if I rediscover the photos of the seagull, I will post them.
I see that there's another question. Have there been any TimeWaver scientific studies?
TimeWaver, the TimeWaver device is a medical product in Germany. Please excuse me a while. I will come back very soon. I
think that might be the elderly parent care again. Now, has anyone been too shy to ask a question or unable to interrupt the flow of all that information? This went very, very, very fast. And it's really good that we have a recording coming so you can look it over, and we'll have a transcription as well. And at least Allison succeeded at doing that last week. I'm sure she'll manage again this week. So don't worry if it's been a bit of an overload.
excuse me, sometimes I'm alone here, and the wheelchair is coming today for my dad, and I said the person not between 11 and later. I told them to be there before 11, but people didn't hear. Okay. It's like this. I'm lucky that the wheelchair is coming on, that we can walk with my dad. And back to the TimeWaver studies, okay? TimeWaver is a medical device in Germany, but the information medicine is not accepted by orthodox medicine. That means that there are no studies because of this. TimeWaver work you can compare with homeopathy. And in homeopathy, it's not a substance what we are testing, it's information. And I think if we think in terms of orthodox medicine, it is not comparable with TimeWaver and the other dimensions of holistic medicine, of information medicine. Yes? We cannot ask an elephant to climb a tree, okay?
Well, I have some friends who are working on the problem of producing data for this kind of device. So we may have more advances on that soon. Now
I forget some things. There is a person. Kannst du unterschreiben? Unterschreib du das doch bitte jetzt. Oh. Dankeschön. Okay, there is a human doctor in Germany. He's called Dr. Bernhard Weber. And this doctor has made the arteriosclerosis studies in his practice with his own patients. And he has written 2 books about it. Normally I have the books there. Christine, I think I will give you the photos of the books afterwards. If you inform all the others with the link, you can send the book too. It's not. I don't want to interrupt again and search for the books. Sometimes I have it here, sometimes in the other room of my practice. And he has written these 2 books about arteriosclerosis and how to reduce it and turn it around with only information medicine. And this works too. It works. I knew him in person, and he's a friend of mine, and he did a very good work. Christine, you are muted.
I've got somebody talking in the background, so I muted myself. There's a new question that's come in, which partly has been covered, but this part not. How do you choose how long to run the programs for animals?
This is a kind of experience. Normally, we treat more often for acute problems, more often and shorter, and we treat longer and with a longer interruption and interval, and a longer duration of the vibration for chronic problems. So it depends on what how the client feels. Okay.
That sounds good. And how often do you run sessions for general maintenance for animals? I think this is referring to Healy more than TimeWaver. I'm not sure.
Yes, it's not easy to explore this for the moment. It depends on the needs of the client. I cannot say. Normally, if we have a chronic thing, we meet twice a month. Yes, and if we have the first thing, we meet 3 times a month. Okay, and afterwards 1 to 2 times a month. Okay.
So I think that what I'd like to sum that up as, there are lots of different people who talk about Healys and tell you precisely how long you should run things, and precisely you can't have it anywhere except between whatever, 35 and 65%, and the next person says between 30 and 70%. So what
I can tell you definitely how to treat, but this is a whole workshop. I did it in a whole workshop, and the link to the workshop is yet posted in the booklet that I give you for free. And in the workshop we have I have detailed explained how it is. It will take another hour to explain all the details because it depends on a system and on a rhythm. And but now I want to show
you use your intuition and you use your TimeWaver. So we have to learn to use our intuition a little bit with our Heelys, because if we don't learn that, if we don't sink into ourselves and really try to connect to our animal, you know, all those prescriptions are what you try to avoid. I can see very clearly. And I think that's beautiful because every individual is so different.
Yes, it is. And the purpose is different. And for several different purposes, I have made lists and was heißt Tabellen, Christine?
A table. Tabellen. That's easy.
Tables,
a table.
Yeah, tables. Tables. Yes, it's very easy. I have made lists and tables how to use if this how to use, if that how to use. They are printable. There are lots of information, bonus material to print it out and use it in an everyday work. Okay. Beautiful. And this is in the learning material for the workshop.
Great.
I want to show you now how the booklet looks like, and there is a picture of the TimeWaver in. Shall I share it now?
Yes, that'd be good. And we don't want to run too much longer.
Okay. Yes, so this is a little
wonderful. Yep, go ahead.
This are my Shetland ponies, my Shetties, on the carrier, and here I want to introduce you to my TimeWaver work, and this is the TimeWaver. Okay, this is me doing the workshops, and this is the TimeWaver. Yes, it is not big. Here you scan things in like the people's or the horses' vibrations, and here on this round you put the halter or the globally or the water that you want to inform, and this is the light quantum resonator with is using the photons for the consciousness to show the consciousness. Yes, and I want to show you a little bit more. Here, this is me with my first cat. Yes, and this is the content of the table of content. What do I need to go to start? For whom is this book suitable? Contraindications, medications, and 1 week with the microcurrent frequencies to start with. Then 3 methods of using of the Healy, and the animal success diary, how you can use it to see how your animals react, and your next step. These are all the links. We will go very quickly to it. This is a contraindication, and this is how to start with microcurrent frequencies, and this is how to inform water. You can print up this flower of life and to put the water on too. Then this is the animal success diary. And in the diary you can make some notes. Which programs did you use and how you are feeling, or how your animal is feeling. So you can learn the reaction from your animal to this specific program, and you will have a list afterwards how the animal felt and what did you do before. I think this is very important to learn and to school our intuition. Yes,
intuition,
and the intuition and the sensitivity, how the horses are reacting. Yes, and here are the frequency programs which I had written for the animals. These are 7. They are described here. And there is the bye-bye parasite too, and you can do it with the full moon, 3 days before, 3 days while the full moon is, and 3 days afterwards.
And
Yes.
Lisa,
And
do you sell those programs so that we can put
yes,
them on our own
yes.
Heelys? Oh, you do?
Yes, this is the link. I want that you go on the link, and you will be directly on the page here. There you can order it. You
Great.
can buy 1 or 4 or all of them together. You can choose what you want. Mhm.
Thank you.
And here is the every first Wednesday in the month, we have here English for the USA and English for Australia. Yes. And English for Australia is special for the horse group and for the vet consultation.
Great.
And because it's not so easy to put all the people together.
No.
with the languages and the time zones. So we started at the 1st September. We will start the Australia horse group, and this it is. You find it in the booklet.
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And here is I love to Healy my animals. This is the workshop that I gave. And all the documents and all the programs, they are including 3 programs. And you can buy it now. And all the workshop is ready and the material is ready, and you will love it very much.
Oh, that sounds great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And if anyone wants to make a session 1-to-1, you can take 1 hour or more. Yes, or you can. There are several opportunities and possibilities. I want to show up what to do. And if you want to see the special story about my mare Gitana, but I told you, I have described in a blog article, and then you can see it here. And this is me with my first pony in the woods, in the forest, and this is my dad. And we go Sundays for the riding in the woods. And if I was 8 or 9, yes. Okay, this it is. This is the disclaimer and the copyright, and I'm very glad to show it up to you. And you have a little idea how it is. It's for free. All the information you can download. And Christine, you can give it to all participants.
I'll do that.
Anyone can see what to do.
Thank you. That's wonderful. That's great. Oh, thank you so much, Lisa. I think we've come to the end of our time, but that's an hour and a half, and what a lot of information got packed into that hour and a half. So I'd like to all do one of these internet thank yous to Lisa, or you, of course, you can do a reaction like this.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So
you're so it's so great. I didn't know that it is possible to do the signs over there.
Oh yeah,
thank you.
You just have to look at reactions on the bottom right of your screen, and you
can reactions.
You can clap. Or you can heart.
Yes, I will do this.
Yeah. So our greatest thanks to you, Lisa. Thank you to everyone who's turned up. I hope I have all the URLs and all the emails correct. I think only Sophie ended up with where I transcribed her email wrongly, but I've got it right. And I just want to say to Lisa, such a huge, generous gesture that you've made last week and this week. And I'm sorry that you're busy from now on at this time, but we may change our time just so we can get you back again. You've really been so generous to us, and we can't thank you enough.
Thank you too. It was great to have you all there, and thank you too to spread up information about information and frequency medicine. I want to make you strong, to take your self responsibility, to heal your horses and yourself and your loved beings around you. I think this is my goal of life, to spread information medicine in the world and show you how to do it yourself.
Well, you've taken a great step forward in that tonight, and Thank you, Lisa, and good night, everyone.
Good night and have a wonderful time.
Thank you.